Some of the biggest economic news shaping Africa's transformation today, from strategic investments in fertilizer production, boosting agriculture, to record breaking investment commitments fueling Senegal's growth and Angola's return to international debt markets, supporting economic stability. And to help us understand these important developments, we're now joined by Dr. Eddie Mahembe, who's a development economist. Thank you very much indeed for joining us and welcome to the program.
Thank you, Peter, and good morning to your listeners all around Africa.
So let's begin in West Africa. Senegal's 2025 Investment Forum just closed with 23.5 billion US dollars in commitments across 51 partnership deals. What does this tell us about the investment sentiment towards West Africa right now, and how realistic are those commitments in terms of actual follow through?
Yes, thank you for that. Because what is happening now is I think we are seeing a renewed interest in Africa in general, and also I think Senegal after the recent elections, I think there is like some increased appetite to focus on development, to focus on investment, and these commitments, like what you rightly said, this is a really massive boost to the especially the investment committee, but also the minister responsible for investment promotion. Um, the detail, obviously, from the partnership commitment, they're saying it's around 51 partnership agreements which were signed. But I think the issue is how soon can that investment be turned into actual implementable projects? They're telling us that it's to be in energy, transport, training, creative industries. And these are critical industries, especially energy. There is always a dearth of energy in Africa, issues to do with transportation. So if that investment follows through, especially in energy, in transportation, and also in training, this could be a very solid base for the new Senegal. So yes, this is encouraging, but I think let's see how they can turn around these commitments into actual projects.
So the Senegal Forum also emphasized sectors such as energy, transport, training, as well as the creative industries. In your view, though, which sectors do you think Senegal and maybe even neighboring economies are most likely to deliver on a promise, and which ones probably pose the highest risk?
I think the energy is always a good deal, given that even bigger economies, South Africa, in Africa, they've struggled with energy. So energy is always critical. And given that we are also talking of the fourth industrial revolution, where we are talking of data, we are talking of AI. So definitely the issue of energy is important because those machines needs energy. So for me, energy is a deal breaker because it angers how other industries can be done, especially even manufacturing, because it needs energy. Even transport, there will be need of energy and ICT. The digital economy, yes. Training is also important because when you going forth to say want to go into energy revolution, want to go into manufacturing revolution, you also need corresponding people in terms of good training, people who are skilled in able to do so. And this is very important, especially for Africa, because if you don't train, it will mean that even those investors who are coming abroad, they'll bring their own people, and it always causes instability. So once we invest in our own people being able to do the jobs, then we have a very solid background, backbone for an economy. So in terms of creative industries, um, I would think it's also another niche market, which is unique, and we always want to tell our own stories. So I generally, when I looked at it, I said this is a good deal, but obviously the detail is always in implementation.
All right, let's talk a little bit about Angola re entering the international bond markets after a 3 year pause, aiming to raise something in the order of 1.5 billion US dollars via 5 and 10 year euro bonds. How significant is this move, and what does it say about the capital conditions for African sovereigns in 2025?
For me, it's a good one. I come from a school of thought where I think one of the prominent of that school of thought is Dambisa Moyo, a very prolific writer who said foreign aid is actually taking our nations backwards. And she recommended that if we really want to raise money, why can't we go to the capital markets and where our economies are evaluated, and then we are able to say, is our economy strong enough to borrow? And if we are able to borrow strongly and we are able to follow through by making sure that that money goes to where it's supposed to go, then we have a solid economy. So I agree with that school of thought. And when I see nations, Angola and other countries, where they are able to pitch at the capital market and they are able to get 1.5 billion, for example, for me it shows that Angola's economy, yes, it has challenges, but is viewed favorably by the market, which is really good.
And that's where we're going to leave it for today. Thank you so much indeed, Dr. Mahembe. Great talking to you.
Thank you for the opportunity and all the best.
That's Dr. Eddie Mahembe, who's a development economist, talking to us about a few economic developments on the continent on our economic wrap on Mondays.
Mix Vibration sur Channel Africa.
Qu'est-ce qui vous a amené à dire ça? Est-ce que vous avez observé